It's Michelle Alcorn and Helen Alcorn here from Atlantic Canada Cooks and actually now a beautiful sunny June 8th here in Atlantic Canada. And we love every theme, but today is World Oceans Day. And I just want to put a big shout out to that. There are an incredible amount of organizations around the world that do a lot of work to protect our oceans, keep them clean. And we are here in Atlantic Canada. We're surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean. So we just want to say, everybody, be mindful and sustainable food, sustainable fishing, incredible important part. I've got my Albert County shirt on because, you know, this is the county that I'm from. My family, my dad grew up in Elma, New Brunswick. Hi to my Aunt Greta that's here. And right on the Bay of Fundy. So oceans play a big part in our lives, and we're gonna explore some ocean eating too, with a little bit of garden fresh today, because Mom, all of our herbs are coming up in our garden now.
Yes.
And some of them are gone crazy.
Yes.
But we're gonna move some of those crazy plants today. So we've got some beautiful shrimp here that we're gonna do a fast grill on. And we're going to do some really great chicken skewers. So I've got my chicken cut up, and we're going to put these on as well with some great fresh vegetables. We're going to be making we also have some fresh haddock. So we're talking about sustainable fishing, absolutely beautiful fillets here. We're going to be using these in a really mild cook. And again, we're going to be featuring some fresh herb dressing. And then, of course, what's better than having some barbecue? And we've got some grilled vegetables that I've got here in front of me. We're going to get seasoned up, and we're going to get onto the barbecue grill. So let me hold these up. I love this because we've got these great little zucchinis. I love these little baby small zucchinis. And I've got them cut up, and I made sure I cut them evenly. And they're all into strips. So we're going to put a little bit of seasoning on those, and then we're going to grill those on the barbecue. And we've got some red onions. I've cut them into like little steaks.
The zucchini, when they're small, they're more meaty.
Yeah, they are, and they grill better. You're right,
Yes,
Mom.
yeah.
Right? There's not as much seed in them.
That's right.
And they hold together.
Yeah.
And they have a really, really great flavor. And we've got a few red peppers here, which, of course, grilled
Sounds
vegetables
good.
look beautiful too,
I
right?
know.
So I'm going to start by I'm going to put this little zucchini down here, and I'm going to get some dressing made for these.
Right.
But the other thing that we also love this time of year, or all year, is getting some great bread. And one of our favorite places is Copan Bakery here in Moncton, and this is a sourdough bread. And it's like, oh, so beautifully freshly made yesterday. And we're going to grill that bread and do a fresh herb dressing for it as well. Super easy recipes, but let's get cooking. Can you take maybe 2 pieces of bread of that out for me, Mom?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a bit about some of the herbs and garden fresh this time of year. I picked these this morning. Can you imagine? So this is beautiful fresh mint. And look, we have the chives. They have the blossoms on the end of the chives. We've got some rosemary here. We've got some regular thyme, English thyme often called. And then in this one is one of my absolute favorite. And this is a lemon thyme. Who says you can't give the gift of thyme? And this is wonderful oregano. And most of this has grown up from last year. So when you're here in Atlantic Canada, you can plant those herbs, and many of them come up year after year. So we're going to use some of these herbs in our barbecuing, but for our seasoning that we're going to get for our veggies to grill, this is a really simple one. We're going to start with some olive oil that I have here, and I'm going to put a good amount of olive oil for the amount of vegetables I have. Here's the best part. If you have extra of this dressing, no worries, because you'll be able to use more of that. And I've got some garlic powder or granulated garlic It does not have salt in it. And in this amount, I'm putting about a teaspoon. And in this jar, I've got some onion flakes, so onion powder. So we're going to get that barbecue started because we're going to bring these out and put them onto the barbecue. So we've got some pepper here. Gonna put some nice fresh cracked pepper. I always find that that's better and it sticks to everything. So the reason why I'm going to be using some dried herbs and not fresh herbs in this part of the barbecue is because oftentimes with the flames on a barbecue, they might burn, right, Mom?
Right.
So we've learned in time, T-I-M-E. So I have in my hand here some fresh dried oregano. Wonderful. I actually brought this back from Morocco the last time I was there, but I am growing oregano, so I'll make some dried oregano this fall. So in our measuring hand, as we call it, and what I'm doing is I'm just giving it an extra rub. It wakes up the flavors, and I want to break up some of those leaves. And the dried herbs work better on the barbecue. Here, look, speaking of my fresh herbs, I've got a whole pile of cilantro here. We'll move it out of the way. So, last but not least, and always important, especially for seasoning and barbecuing, I always lose something. My salt's right in front of me. I've got some salt here. I love this dish. This is by Funday Mud Pottery here down in Albert County. And this time of year here in Atlantic Canada, a lot of our seasonal people are opening up, and you can take art tours. Please take a drive down the 114 all the way through Albert County and enjoy all the local artisans, and go down to Funday National Park, and that's where the village of Elma is, and you can explore the oceans and hiking trails and biking trails and incredible food. There's a food festival coming up on June 19th, 20th, 21, and 22. Make sure you get up there to check it out. So here's our herb mixture here with the olive oil and the seasoning with the garlic and the onion. And I'm just going to take, and this is what's so easy. I do this a lot, don't I, Mom? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rub both sides of that onion with some of that mixture. And we're going to do the same thing with all the vegetables. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to make sure we get some of that beautiful seasoning. And when those grill, most of that flavor is going to stay. And you, like you said, Mom, these zucchini are awesome because they're meatier. Yeah. Flip those over. And they won't take too long on the grill. I've got a friend of mine helping out on the grill here. So we're going to hand them over to him. And he's going to be our back griller, as we're going to call him. So make sure you season both sides. And the onions, I'm going to have him put the onions on first and let the onions grill just for maybe 2 or 3 minutes each, and then add the zucchini. And the reason why we suggest doing that is the onions are thicker and they're going to take a little longer to cook. So I didn't need all my, we got to flip my onions over. There we go. Those are like an onion steak, Mom.
I know.
I put a nice thick one on that. And we're going to be making up another herb dressing that we're going to be eating. So there we go. Let's set this back here. Those already look good with all the herbs on them. So we're going to hand this off. Mom, I'm going to put that to you.
Okay.
Off to the grill they go. So we're going to get, and the barbecue's on, around 400, and onions a little bit first, and then we'll add the other ones so we can get all those vegetables grilled at the same time. When you put it on the grill, I'm telling you, you get an extra flavor that's absolutely delicious. So we're going to do a chicken skewer next. Our shrimp are easy, Mom, because we don't need a lot of seasoning on those.
No.
We really like shrimp as is.
Yes.
And these are only going to take a few minutes. I might give them the mum if you want. We can do them in the grill pan, or you can take them out to the barbecue, but we just want to watch them because the shrimp, as you see, are a little translucent, right? And they've still got the hard shell tail on. It makes them easy for eating. But when they hit the heat, they almost turn pink,
Oh, yeah.
red, and they will really only take about 2 or 3 minutes to cook and get them because these are nice small size here.
Put them
So,
in the pan.
Mom, you can do them in the pan, or
I'll
you
do
can
them
do
in the
them
pan.
on the other side. So what I am going to do,
Oops.
we should have chose a bigger plate for this. We're just going to put a little bit of seasoning on these. So a tiny bit of salt. And as always, a little bit of fresh pepper. And I am going, when they come off, we're going to use some fresh lemon. But I'm not going to put it on first because the acid in the lemon would actually start to kind of
Cook it.
like a ceviche style.
Yeah.
So we're just going to put this because we know that that fresh shrimp already tastes good. And then we'll have some dips that we can put that in. So we're going to give these to Mom. And then she can cook those whenever she's ready. She's got that. She's going to put a little olive oil in that pan.
Yeah.
And we don't want the heat too high, but we just want it up to where it should be. So we're going to go over to our chicken. And I've got some of these metal skewers here. I'm going to take the rest of my dressing I have here and that olive oil. And this is, again, the garlic, salt, pepper, and some oregano, and some onion powder. It's in here. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to pour it over these other vegetables that are going on my skewers. Show you here. We've got some red onion, and then I've got some, well, it's really purple onion because it's next to a red pepper. So we've got some purple onion, and we've got some red pepper. I like using the sweet peppers when, especially with chicken, because chicken is a milder flavor, and I find green peppers a little bit stronger. So that just has that little bit of olive oil mixture. The vegetables are ready. Well, what I'm going to add to my chicken here is I'm also going to add a little bit of olive oil. And I'm not going to put a lot of seasoning on my chicken. Just enough to have a really great flavor, because I'm going to use an herbed dressing that's going to go on top. So we've got pepper. We're going to put some salt on here. And garlic powder. And I want to say hi to our YouTube audience. Thanks for coming in and checking out our recipes. You're going to see lots of new cool ones coming in. I've got all of our friends here in Zoom. Sign up for our newsletter, and you can get some of these extra recipes and check out the recipes we're putting on YouTube. And for all of our YouTube subscribers, current and new, we're going to do a draw tomorrow to give away some scallop prizes, and then we're going to do it again this week. So let's get subscribing and make sure that you hit that button on YouTube. So that dried oregano is coming back in with the chicken. And this is kind of an international flair because I'm putting the dried oregano. Ooh, it smells so good. So it smells really good. We're going to stir this up. Now with the chicken, I am going to put some lemon in my chicken in advance. Because this chicken's going to go in the barbecue as well. I don't mind if the acid in the lemon starts cooking that chicken meat a little bit. And the flavors that are left behind with what's here is very much similar to a souvlaki, right? So it's like we're channeling a little bit of our Greek Greek background. So we're gonna mix this up. So each of those little pieces of chicken gets that seasoning around it. We might cook one of these chicken skewers today. I like to make these in advance just by a couple of hours. And when you do that, it's really important that you refrigerate them, because right now we're gonna have chicken and vegetables together. So what we might say cross-contaminating. Look at that. You can see there's a little bit of herbs on every piece of this. There we go. Aside. And I'm gonna get one of my skewers here. I'm using a metal skewer. Makes it easier when I'm barbecuing. And I am just gonna skewer. And I'm using a chicken thigh, by the way, for these. Push that chicken through. I'm gonna put an onion and a pepper. And then I'm gonna go for another piece of chicken. And we're gonna make sure, I am gonna go for each of these skewers, Mom, having like 3 pieces of chicken, because they're a nice sized piece of chicken.
Yeah.
I didn't cut the chicken really small because, you know, I want to be able to take these off, and maybe you can use it in a wrap, or you can just eat it as a regular skewer. So, and then I'm just gonna put one more end. Those, I can smell that, Mom.
Yeah.
Smells good.
Coming on.
There. So there's one of our chicken skewers done. And we're going to be making up a whole bunch of those to go on my other skewer. They're very easy and delicious. And like I said, I can put these in the refrigerator and then be able to go back and get them later and put them on the barbecue. What's important when you're barbecuing skewers like this is you want your barbecue in a medium heat. Get the outside of your meat cooked, and then turn it down a little bit so that your vegetables cook through properly. And because if not, you'll find that your vegetables might be cooked before your meat.
And if you don't have metal skewers, the wooden ones, you just have to soak them for 2 or 3 hours before you put them on the barbecue.
Exactly, Mom.
So
That's an awesome tip. So those look wonderful. I'm going to set those 2 there. I'm going to put this off to the side, and we'll see if our barbecuer can throw those on. Mom, you did a perfect job. Yeah, I just have to take a second, and you set those down. Mom, I want you to tell everybody how you did that. Those look awesome. I'm going to wash my chicken hand.
They look lovely. I just put them in a grill pan for about 2 minutes on each side, because shrimp don't take very long to cook. So. And they got nice and brown, and I'm sure they smell good too. Oh yeah, they smell delicious. Anyway, I guess our barbecue is cooking out there.
I do. I love the smell of these.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
So what's going to be nice for us to serve these, and this is why we're going to set, can you move that for a sec, Mom? Set this off to the side. They smell so good. So crispy bread. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil, and I think we'll make 2 crispy breads. And I'm just going to hand these to Mom. That grill's on outside.
Yeah.
So Mom's just going to go put those on the grill.
Face down.
Face down. And we're going to get that side nice and crunchy is what our goal is going to be, because we're going to add some really great flavor to that. So I really enjoy making this fresh herb dressing, and we can see you can put it on everything, which is the best part. So what I have here in the bowl is some fresh cracked pepper that I've already grinded. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add salt, and there's about equal parts of salt and pepper. This particular herb dish is now we're going to go all fresh herbs. So the other thing is we're going to get some olive oil in here. And we're going to have a good amount of olive oil. So because of the amount that I'm making, I'm probably going to put about a quarter of a cup. There we go. And look at these. This was me picking in my garden this morning. Look at the chives, the chive blossoms. I'm going to pull a couple. And remember, you can eat those chive blossoms. So make sure that you eat all of that. We love that sustainable things that you can eat. So this is chives, my trusty kitchen scissors. And I'm just going to chop those chives down. I can hear Mom. I think we can all hear Mom giving Sean lots of directions at the barbecue. We've got 3 cooks in the kitchen today. Or 2 in the kitchen and 1 in the backyard. So we're going to chop those chives up. And we're going to get those chopped up really well. And you want everything to be fairly small in this. We don't want big chunks. And this is going to be like, don't be afraid to put multiple herbs together. So setting this off to the side, we're going to dig in our bowl here. There we go. And look at that. What do we have there?
Oh,
fresh mint.
mint.
So we're going to put a couple of mint leaves that are going to go in this. I want to say that I'm so thankful for the many cultures that I now explore with food around the world. It's part of why Atlantic Canada Cooks exists, so that you can learn more about the flavors in other cultures. And I use a lot of mint in my regular cooking now, where previously I really only used it in my sweets. And I, albeit I love mint tea, but I wasn't using the fresh herb, and I grow a lot. So it's really great to be able to have that.
It multiplies.
And it multiplies. So we're going to put some fresh mint in there. And now I was also in my garden this morning, and this is some fresh oregano. Oregano is a pretty powerful herb. So I'm going to put about 4 things of fresh oregano. And all I'm doing is rolling the herbs a little bit and then running my knife through them. Ooh. Smell.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So those smell great. So we're going to get that oregano in there. And I love it because I'm also going to put it up. We've got some fresh rosemary. Now, rosemary also is one of those herbs that's fairly strong. But I'm just going to put some of the fronds, cut them really earthy.
Very earthy.
Cut them really small.
I can smell them.
Right?
Yeah.
It's that immediate, strong. Look, I'm going to throw them around too. Just going to bring it up so you can smell it. There we go.
I can smell it. Stand
Right?
here.
I don't even need to move that way, Mom. And
No.
there, I'm digging in my herb bowl. And here we have some fresh cilantro. I didn't have parsley, but I did just plant parsley. So parsley is the other one that's awesome to put into this fresh herb mixture. So we're going to cut the cilantro up. Remember, with cilantro, you can definitely use your stems. Watch what I'm doing. So we cut the cilantro and not my fingers. A lot of people don't realize, so right now as we're here in early June, all your fresh herbs from the year before are up, but you can really get lots of fresh vegetables and fresh herbs. And you're actually seeing some of our farmers producing a lot of fresh tomatoes because they were in greenhouses or planted them early. So it's a wonderful time of year to see all these great flavors coming together. So we're going to give this a good stir. Oh, look at that. Remember, it has the salt and pepper in there. And there we get that beautiful. And now what I'm going to add to it is just a little bit of what we say an acid. And you can use a lemon or lime. So we've got this small piece of lemon. There we go. It's a nice juicy lemon too. So that's probably the equivalent of a tablespoon of lemon going in. There. We'll give that a good stir. And when that sits a little bit, I have to tell you, the flavor gets richer and richer as that sits. So we're gonna go over and we're gonna look at our shrimp. And let's bring this dish together beautifully. With those perfectly seared. And again, those will be really fast on a regular grill. And this is where the magic comes together. I've got herbs stuck to my hands here. And I layer those shrimp on. That crusty bread's going to be coming in. So with the crusty bread as well, when we put it beside it, I'm going to rub that bread down and make it a bit of a garlic bread. And how are those vegetables doing, Mom?
You just taking them off.
Awesome. So we're going to get this organized. We're going to pull all of our dishes together. But I just want to say, I was traveling this week with my Women Business Enterprise Weeby Canada group. There were so many amazing local companies, and I was in Nova Scotia. So thank you, Nova Scotia Loyal, for helping promote. This is a beautiful soap. A lavender Earl Grey tea. And to our Nova Scotian Cookie Company, wow, these are incredible shortbread cookies. You can get them at many different locations. Follow them online. And I love this chow. So this is that tomato time of year. And it's a tomato relish chow cut up. And I think it's going to pair really well with our meal today. Mom, look at how great everything looks here. Look at that. Perfectly grilled everything. So I'm going to take one of these pieces of bread.
Okay.
Look at the grill marks. Oh, they're nice and warm. And this is as we finish our meal off. These are the final seconds. I'm just getting a piece of garlic here out of the skin. Of course, I'm going to have a fight with that one. We're going to cut our garlic in half. So you've got your clove. I'm going to take that piece of crusty bread. And what we're going to do is we're going to rub the raw garlic all across that bread. And because it has all the crusty bits, it really picks up. Smell that, Mom.
Oh, yeah.
So that is going to be served right here. And let's get this piece in. Watch this. There we go. We're just going to put this on here. Couple of our grilled vegetables on the side. And there you've got your seafood, shrimp, garlic bread. You can take those and put them directly on. I poured that beautiful fresh mint across our shrimp. Absolutely amazing. I'm just doing the other piece of bread. We're gonna have these come together. You don't need to add anything to these. These are ready to eat and enjoy. And I know our chicken skewers are still cooking, Mom, because we're not going to really have time to finish those off.
No.
But come on around here. Mom's got another piece of the crusty bread. Good job, Mom. That one's going to be nice and garlicky.
Yeah.
So hang on to that, Mom, for a sec. Here we go. Oh. So we're going to put, this is where and maybe a little bit of Parmesan cheese. We didn't put the cheese out, but there's that nice bread.
Whatever you think you might like on it.
Well, yeah.
Your choice.
You can just have that nice herbed crunch bread. Again, all fresh herbs from the backyard. And just serve it with your meal.
Yeah, looks lovely.
Stay tuned afterwards. We're going to show you pictures of those beautiful chicken skewers. I can smell them from here cooking. So get some more seafood, get in your backyard and get grilling. And just enjoy the true flavors of fresh vegetables and fresh herbs. And everything only took a very few minutes to put together.
It did.
So you excited, Mom?
Yeah.
All right. From our kitchen and our backyard to yours.
Take care.
Take care, and we'll see you next week for Father's Day. And we're going to be enjoying some of what would have been my dad's favorites, which pretty much was any food if we had to really bring it down to it, and loved anything, but celebrating fathers all over the world and saying thank you for all the amazing things that you do. So thanks, everybody.
Take care.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Always good food, everybody here.